are attached with 2 or 3 words to enhance and build, to impress, to express about a particular sentence in a sentence formation, which is actually called as adjectival phrase. So let's see. In simple words, we use quantifiers when we want to give someone information about the number of something, how much and how many. That's what I told you. If suppose you go to a marriage and then they say how many people turned up in this COVID situation, you can count it because people are quite less these days going in. You can also say how many sandwiches you want. You can count the number of sandwiches, right? But the moment you ask someone how much, few of them turn up. You can say very little, a very, chalo, the little word is not there with you, so here we are not taking little word, but yes, very little people thought of joining the ceremony. But instead of little, I'll be using the word there, few. But then these are some words which will be helpful for you for quantifiers. So next we are going to learn what all words are required when I have to ask a question for how much or how many. So in a sentence, if I get to know the number, I have to ask the question how many. So I'm going to place the word accordingly. And if I have to answer a question of how much, I have to use the word of quantifier accordingly. So some, many, a lot of, and a few. So what is it? Some, many, a lot of, and a few. That means we are here talking, they all are examples of quantifiers. So there were some people, there were many people, a lot of people joined, a few. So the moment you see many and few, if there is a noun, there are few books kept on the table. Many students did not appear for their final exams. So many is referring to students, right? Books is referring to, few is referring to books. So the moment you see a sentence, in that sentence you should figure out the noun. You should point out the noun. You should check that we are talking here about quantity is referring to what, which noun it is referring to in the sentence. So if that noun is showing that it can be counted, you will use the quantifier which can be counted. That means how much kind of a thing, how many kind of a many. But something which you cannot count it, there you will use how much. Now those words that you can use it, like many is used for counting part. Few can be used which can be counted. But some, you can say there was some water left in the water bottle, but you cannot say there was 20 drops of water bottle left. No, that's not the way to speak, right? So there you will use some. That word that you're going to use for the quantifier, it's going to be some, and a lot of can also be used there. Look at the examples there. There are some books on the desk. He has got only a few dollars. Why a few? So the word few here is actually used, which can be counted. You can count the dollars there. And there is an article which says L. Why they're using A? Because they are trying to tell you in group, they are trying to tell you that they're not telling you that there is $5, there is $10, there is $50, there is $100. No, combined together, they are here. Few is coming as a group, so that's the reason they are taking, because it is singular few there. So A is used with that. How much money have you got? Much money. Because see, money at times when kept in my wallet, I can count it. But if it is in my bank, or if it is in my mutual fund, or if it is with my SIP, or if it is the loose money if I have, or there is something which is kept with my family members, so they are scattered. Here I am not in a state to tell what exactly is the amount. So there I will use much. Okay. And then it comes, there is a large quantity of fish. There is a large quantity of fish in this river. Now see, a large quantity. Singular form is used there, a there. That's used for a, we use it for singular forms. Okay. A large quantity. Now here quantity is taken again as singular, is fish. So a large quantity, that means there are a lot of fishes there. You can't sit and count the number of fishes. But if it is required, you are in a state to still check. So then overall, when you're talking about a group, you can say that there are large number of fish in this river. So quantity of fish, something which can be used. Okay, welcome Hardik to the class. I would like to make you join us. Okay, I thought I cannot see you, Hardik, in the attendee there. Okay, he has got more friends than his sister. More, many more. Here we are trying to talk about the degree of comparison. So we're talking about comparison between brother and a sister. If it is a comparison being done, we can use the word more. We can use many when we are talking about more than the numbering part there. So that's a superlative degree that we can use. So all these are some, a few, much, a large quantity of, or we are talking about more or large, a lot of. All these are actually quantifiers, and these quantifiers are going to be used accordingly if something can be counted and there is something which cannot be counted, kind of. Okay, so quantifiers can be used with both countables and uncountables, that I've been trying to teach you since the class is open. So countable nouns, something that can count. Now figure it out and pay attention very clearly here. It is a quick learning going to happen now. So countable nouns are basically count. So I can count. I have got 2 pencils, right? I have got 1 pen and a pencil. So I'm just taking it as 2 pencils. Okay. So I've got 2 pencils here. You can count it, 1 and 2. So we're talking about counting part there. So you can count here nouns. They could be singular or plural. That means you could have 1 thing, or you could have 10 things, or 100 things, or 1,000 things, but you can count those 1,000. If you have got 1,000 boxes, you can count 1,000 boxes, right? So these nouns can be used with a number. They can be counted. That's why they are called countable nouns. So the example is, I've got 1 friend, I've got 2 friends, I've got 3 friends. 1 book, 2 books, and 3 books. Again, we can count them, so it is mentioned. Many is a quantifier that is used with countable nouns. Now that is something you should keep it with you in your notepad. If you're writing it down, keep that many word, like we did it in the last, if you remember, in the last slide, we had shown you some, a few, much, a large quantity. So much is used for uncountables and many is going to be used with countables. So here, I hope you understood the countable parts there, and many is a part of countables. Next is the uncountables noun. Now, when we are talking about uncountable nouns, again and again, I will refer the same thing to you, that you read a sentence, or if you are referring to somebody, check that you are talking about, you are referring about which noun. You're referring about what? Rohan has 15 cars. So you're talking about cars. You're not talking about Rohan here. So car and Rohan both are noun. But then you are referring with what? Cars. So when you are referring to the cars, you can count cars. So it goes all the adjectives that you are using it as a quantifiers. Check it out that countable nouns are used there, and we will give you a lot of examples of countable and non-countable. You can just write it with you and use it whenever it is required. So uncountable nouns can only be used in singular form. Singular form. Don't forget that. Singular, 1 person. These nouns cannot be used with a number, 1 or more than that. Like you can, it's very straight, because if it is 1 or more than that, it's going to be countable part, no? So here it is basically with the singular form, you can use it with a number. They cannot be counted. As I said, I have some water left in my bottle. You cannot count it now. So we are going to take it as a single form only. That's why they are called uncountable nouns. I have lot of money. I gave you this example, a lot of money. So if it is a number written there, I have 1,000, I have 1,000 rupees. So that means the number is there with you. So accordingly, the quantifier would be used, because it is accountable, because I have got 1,000 written there. But if it is, I don't have mentioned part of the number, then it is uncountable. So there you are using a lot of, or you could use I have some money. That is also applicable here. You say, I drink a lot of milk, not 5 milk. You cannot say that. That's what I said. droplets of water. You can't say I have droplets of water, 20 droplets of water in my bottle. You don't say that, right? So it's a wrong English there. So uncountable nouns take much money. There it was, I have got many cars. You can count it. I've got much money. Uncountable part, when especially when the things are not assembled and you don't know exactly what you are here referring to. You can count money. Now, this is something you should pay attention to. You can count money. You can count milk. You can count meat, but then you would use the currency, liter, kilo, glass, and say that you have got 5 euros or $5, but not 5 money. That's what the difference is. You can use, we know that you can count money, you can count milk, you can count meat, but you can measure meat and milk. But as far as money is concerned, you will have to write down the currency of it. That's the reason you need to drop it. We know that it is countable, but the difference of countable is measuring part and 1, 2, 3, 4, numbering part there. Uncountable nouns are measured with count formed like liters, kilos, etc. Quantifiers with uncountable nouns. Now, quantifiers. Now, this is something, quantifiers means what numbers you will be using to show the quantity of a noun. Where I said, now I have got 10 pens. Now here I'll be using for uncountable, which is singular. What all words can I use? What all quantifiers can I use? What all adjectives can I use for uncountables? You can use a little, very little. You can use this. So little, very little, a little. Okay. You can use a bit of. You can use a bit and then of is added part there. A great deal of. A great deal of. A large amount of. A large quantity of. So little, very little mean that there is not enough of everything. So little means that there is not a lot of something, but there is enough. So it's very important for us to understand when we are talking about this term little. Little doesn't mean that it's finished. Little means thoda sa, something is left there. So that little part is there, and then we can go ahead by saying it little and then very little. So that's just a way of expression that you can use it when we're talking about the little part there. Now we have got the quantifiers with countable nouns. Now these are the words that you are going to use it with the quantifiers there. Quantifiers, which quantifiers are talking? All those nouns which can be counted. So I'm talking about those quantifiers. Okay. So here we are talking about nouns which can be counted. These are many. There you will use not 1, 2, 3, 4. There you will use many. Yes, you can use there. I have got 1 pen. But I have got many pens. I have got a few pens. I have a number of fans in my house. A large number of people attended the ceremony. A great number of a great number of people of WHO decided to have a lockdown. A majority of people voted for BJP in India. So that's basically, you can count these numbers, but they are so large that you would prefer to put them in a section of a few, very few, a number, several, a large number of, a great majority of, and a great number of. So note, few, very few mean that there is not enough of something. That means there is not something which is like too large, but still it is there. A few means that there is not a lot of something, but there is enough. Sometimes we use a quantifier in place of determiner. Determiners, we know what a determiner is, something that determines. We'll be taking up in some other chapters. We have already done it in our previous classes with you. But yes, if the moment I have to say this child was making noise in the class. So this is the determiner there because it specifically tells we're talking about. It points out to that person. So we use this there. All right. So most children started school at the age of 5. So instead of saying the children started school at age of 5, they are using most children start. So this is supposed to be a sentence which is used to say the truth part there. So when it is a truth part, they are saying start, and then we are talking about most. See, children in itself is plural. This noun, children in itself is plural. You are not going to change it. But then how do I show that there is something above the plural form of children? So what do I use? I use a quantifier which says most. That means it is talking about the plural form of children, but out of that also there are most of the children who start at 5 at the age, the school. We ate some bread and butter. Normally, people said I had 2 sandwiches. Fine enough, because you can count it. But you can surely say that you had some, because might be you did not even count it when you were eating it. So there you are going to use some. We saw lots of birds. Now, lots of birds means you did saw birds, but then how many birds, you don't remember it. All right. Next is the quantifiers, which is used for both. Now that depends on the sentence, countables and uncountables. In both you can use it. This is rather, I'll say this is used as commonly. So just a second, I think somebody joined me. Okay. So sorry. Okay. So here these are these countables and uncountables which are used for both, which is all, enough, all the people wed for the parade. Enough, we have enough food, said Hitler after World War II. Less or least. It's the least you can do for me. Less. Less than 20 people went for the obituary. Not any. Some. Any. A lot of. Lots of. Plenty of. So let's check it again. We have got all, enough, more, most, less and least, no and none, not any, some, any, a lot of, lots of, and plenty of. All these quantifiers can be used for both purposes. So now comes your practice questions. Hardik, you can put up your answers. Let's see how much you have understood what I was trying to teach here. He has dash time to play with his children. He has, we're talking about time. The noun here is time. So when you are referring to time, you cannot say few time, a few. You will have little time to play with his children. Let's see the next. I went through dash trouble to get those tickets. A great deal of trouble to get those tickets. Please, when you read the sentence, look for the noun. The first thing that you're going to check here is that this fill up is looking to be filled up. For which noun exactly it is referring to. Next, he has dash apples. We're talking about apples. Any apples or some apple? He has some apples. Okay. Next, I had dash leftover milk, so I gave some to the cat. Lots of leftover milk, so I gave it to the cat. Can you give me dash pounds for the bus fare? Couple of or a bit of, couple of. Now these are, very new generation sentences, I'll call them. Because these all words what we have used here is couple of, just check this out. Lots of, check this. Some is something which we definitely would be using a great deal of. This is again a new kind of uncountable nouns dealing to the singular part that we are talking here about. Little. We have done this, okay? Let's go to the next one. I can't go out this evening. I have got dash to do. Too much or too many? Why did I take up too much? Because we were referring to time. I can't go out this evening. I have got dash to do. So we were talking about things. So something which cannot be counted. I have taken too much. Next. I can't buy the form. He has got money left. A little, few, a few. What one will say? Little. Because again, it is not counted. So they are telling little. If there was written number of currencies was mentioned there, then a few could have been taken apart there. The train leaves in 1 hour. I am scared there is dash time left to pack. Little time left to pack. Now the next is talking about that you need to arrange the jumbled words. So that means you need to put it in a sentence form. Next. You have to pick up from here. A little, learn, every day, we, English, many, few. So what will you say? Every day we learn a little English, many English or few English? A little English. Am I right? Yes. Why didn't we use many and few? Because we cannot, many and few. Both is something that is used for countable. So a little is taken because it is uncountable part used there. They say dash knowledge is dangerous thing. A little few, little a few, little knowledge. Now there an article is not required because little is not used as a group there. It's little like it's not something that is in the numbering part that can be taken care of. Again, you need to arrange the jumbled words form. I'm waiting for you to do it, Hardik, please. Type it and send it over to me. Does she, some sisters have any sister? So what will you pick up? It's a simple interrogative question. Perfect, makes sense. Does she have any sisters? We can't say some here. This is any is used when we are talking about the countable part there. It's good that she has dash almonds every day. Few, a few. What will be taken? A few. Okay. Next. I can't drink this coffee. There isn't dash sugar in it. Too much, enough, or too many. Now, sugar is enough. So, too much sugar in it is wrong. You see, most of the people are seeing they do use such things, but that's not appropriate. You will be using that word enough when we are talking about eatable items there. Avoid using too much there. A great dash of my students prepared hard for their exams. Number or G? Number. A great number of my students prepared hard for their exam. We are not talking about deal here because normally what happens with great, we have got a habit of using this word. A great deal of people decided to do this. No, here we are talking about students and these students can be counted. All members are valuable to us and is going to be given a present. Each members. Why? Because it is talking about a particular, we are here talking about the members and these members are something which can be counted. So here it's trying to show the importance of each member. So we will, the appropriate word here is going to be each. Of course, sometimes each and every becomes a little confusing, but with practice you will get it. I know that Tim has dash more books than I do. Few or a few, a few. Okay, few. Let's go to the next. There has been almost dash rain for the last couple of weeks. No rain for last couple of weeks. No rain, okay? No, you will not use none at all because rain cannot be counted. Please remember it. So none is something, don't use it for especially for these uncountable kind of things. Huh? Celine feels Celine feels lonely because she has very dash sincere friends. Few. Again, few, the blank is actually trying to look forward for noun, which is friends here. So you are going to use few here. Much, as we said, we cannot use it here. Little cannot be used because both of them are used for uncountable. Friends is countable. You can count. Our yard looks awful this summer. There is too much dash weeds. Oops, sorry, too many weeds. There are too many weeds. Okay. Next. Also, I have paid very dash. A little attention to how many rain we had. A little attention to how much rain we will have had. A few attention to how little rain we had. That's a little complicated sentence for you. I'll just wait and make you understand. Also, I have paid very little attention to how much rain we had. See, they've used little also and much also. How? I have paid. Now, this is talking about an attention. So, attention is an abstract form. So, when it is an abstract form, you cannot measure it. When you cannot measure it, obviously, you are going to use little there. And the moment you are talking about rain, again, little rain is not, I'm not saying that it is wrong, but it's not appropriate. The appropriate word is going to be there, much, when we are talking about the uncountable noun rain there. Next, they said that just dash help could make a big difference. So few, a little or little. What is going to be a little? They said that much, that just a little help could make a big difference. A little. That means it is talking about that we are not telling as to measuring how much you are going to help me. It's some part of help will be helpful to us. For such kind of expression, we are going to use a little form there. I'm afraid it has rained dash times this summer, and that is why the grass is turning brown and dying. The farmers are very upset. I'm afraid it has rained. It has rained few times. Why will we not use a there? Rained a few times. Why? Because raining part we are not able to, we are here not talking about how many times it has rained. That's the reason A will not be used there, because they are not talking about the singular form. I have unfortunately had headaches already because of stress. So a lot of, yes, I have unfortunately had a lot of headaches already because of the stress. So I hope you all have understood something related to it. You have seen all the different kinds of fill-ups which will help you to use them, but I want to go back and make you understand the things that you're going to keep it in your mind. Don't forget it. We are talking here about countables and uncountables. We're talking about quantifiers in which you will specifically ask that a noun is talking about how much or how many. Only then you will be able to use your quantifier, something which can be counted. Accordingly, words of countable you are going to use, and where something which is not able to be counted, there you are going to use uncountable nouns, uncountable adjectives that we have given you, like some, a few, much, a large quantity of, more, they all are quantifiers. Here, when we are talking about quantifiers, something which can be counted part there, one friend, two friend, three friend kind of a thing, or books, many is supposed to be in the countable parts there, okay? So just keep these things in mind. Uncountable nouns that we have got, we are going to use here a lot of, again, much is used for your uncountable part there. You are going to use for your quantifiers with uncountable nouns that you can use is are much, a little, very little, a bit of, a great deal of, a large amount of, a large quantity of. So please ensure that you are using these quantifiers with your uncountable nouns. With quantifiers with countable nouns are that you can use as many, a few, very few, a number of, a large number of, a great number of, a majority of. Sorry, I missed several in between. All right. And now you have got a quantifier which can be used for both quantifier countables and uncountables. They are all, enough, more, most, less, least, none, no, none, not, any, some, any, a lot of, lots of, and plenty of. That's all we had it for today. If you have got any question to ask me, please come up and ask and say something that you want to. Is there anyone who wish to say something to me? Welcome to the class. Tanu, I have allowed you to speak. Tanu, you want to say something? Hello, Tanu, are you there with me? Hello, is there someone with me today? Yes, we do have. So I want somebody to please speak up, and I have just launched the polling for you. I hope you all are in a state to speak. Something that we are dealing with here is countable and uncountable nouns. And you will be in a position to use these countables and uncountable nouns. Uh, Before we wrap up the class, there are few things, few revisions that you're going to keep it in your mind. The moment you try and use these quantifiers, the most important thing that you need to figure out is that we are using this for what kind of noun it is. Like, kind of noun means a noun which can be counted, a noun which cannot be counted. So that's the reason there is one question which came up, which a question that you're supposed to ask is how many or how much. Now, if you have that kind of thought, that kind of questionnaire coming to you, the answer coming to you, that for how many that you can count it, you will use the countable nouns. And if you think it is how much and you are not able to grasp it in the numbers there, or you are only going to measure it, then you are going to use your uncountable nouns. We also talked about that there are commonly uncountable and countable quantifiers we have. And let's make your life difficult. Let's make your life little easy. I'm sorry, not difficult. Let's make your life little easy. We are talking and we are referring to words. They are actually all our words that we have just discussed with you. The only thing is that these words have to be used for your specific purposes. You just cannot use it whatever you wish. There is a grammatical rule that we need to follow. Accordingly, we do justice to a language. So that's very important thing, and that's the reason we are coming up with these sessions, which are very short sessions, at the same time simple, and you will be able to understand in a better manner. All right. So please ensure that you are checking first the noun, checking that you can ask these questions, how many and how much. If it is how many, you are using countable nouns. If it is how much, you are using uncountable nouns. We have got those words there which can be used for countable and uncountable. If you want, I can go back and show you those words which I'm talking. Yes, I'm talking about these words. We are here referring to these words which says all, enough, more and most, less and least, no and none, not any, some, any, a lot of, lots of, plenty of. These words can be used for your countable and uncountable both sections there. I hope you will be in a state to practice whatever we are trying to teach you. And if you have got any question, please put it on the chat. I'd like to solve it. I'm waiting for you to come up with this answer. If you have to say something, please come up and say. All those who have joined us on YouTube, Hello English classes are available all the 7 days. From at 5, at 6, and at 7, all the classes are for an hour approximately. It depends on the session, how long it carries, but 1 hour is something that is assigned to it. Secondly, you can join my classes on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 6 o'clock. We are available for you, to teach you, to make your life a little easy, to make you understand how best we can use the language. And the best part which I feel about Hello English, my personal experiences while I'm teaching, is that a lot of new things are getting incorporated. There are a lot of new thoughts which get, presentation of those thoughts are getting incorporated, which is going to be really, really helpful for you. So please join us and give us your opinion, give us your thoughts. whatever you feel that if we are lacking something, if there is something that you want that we should rebuild it, there is something which is your thought and you want us to talk about it, do share it, do send it over to us, put it on our chat, and we'll surely try and get back to you. Thank you so much for joining Hello English class. This is Veena signing off from Hello English. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.